Central, it's the all-new government-approved Daily Show. With your patriotically obedient host, Jon Stewart.
We have another fun, hilarious, administration-compliant show.
All right, so that was The Daily Show. Jon Stewart last night. Other late night hosts are trying to defend Jimmy Kimmel after the comments he made of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Zero mention, though, of the ratings drop. Look at this. Yeah, the average viewers from August 2025 back in January, they are dropping. This according to some of the numbers there. It's more than a 40% fall. Maybe it's about corporations and economics. How about that? Let's bring in our panel. Pleased to have Jarrett Stepman, columnist for the Daily Signal and author of The War on History, back with us today. And also pleased to have Bill Gertz with us, national security correspondent to the Washington Times and the author of the book, Deceiving the Sky. We're going to talk about Kirk and some of the security measures in place. But let's just start with Kimmel because it is such a talker. I love seeing Swalwell with the Kimmel hat on and saying, save your records. Maybe they should call Bob Iger. Maybe they should call the head of Sinclair or a Nexstar who pulled him before D.C. to talk about the real story here, which is economics. And people are done with people like Jimmy Kimmel who aren't funny. Even Charlie Kirk tweeted about that years ago, Jarrett. They're not comedians. They're propaganda. And that's pure and simple.
Yeah, Bianca, a lot of these shows many years ago abandoned, I think, a lot of the kind of humor that could appeal to a broad base of Americans. I think that the actual people who watch these shows were dwindling year by year. A lot of the stuff on Jimmy Kimmel's program just simply became nasty. I mean, in the wake of an assassination of a major American political figure. I mean, I didn't even see where the joke in his comment was. He's supposed to be a late night comedian. And of course, at the end of the day, making this about himself as if he's a persecuted martyr in all of this. And as you said, I think there's a reality, an economic reality that Disney had to look at here with his program, especially if basically he's turning off a huge part of potential viewers in America who will never watch those shows. I think it's notable that they're now going to go in a different direction. I think that's just simply reality, as you said.
Mm-hmm. The public airwaves, too, if you have a broadcast license, there are regulations, there are things in the FCC, and I'm sure a whole team of lawyers is looking at very closely as well on how they proceed forward with all of this to ensure that the sacred airwaves are not going to be manipulated with disgusting, hateful rhetoric. Let's talk about what we are expecting on Sunday. Bill, President, members of the cabinet, Vice President, all will be there at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Department of Homeland Security, the highest level here. Security measures are being put in place. Federal law enforcement say they are already receiving thousands of security threats, which is a sad but real factor we have to contend with in America. Talk to us about how you think this will go off without a hitch, how you think that people will be able to go and pay tribute to somebody that really was such a leader, such a bright light in this world.
Yeah, so in the aftermath of a horrible political assassination, obviously security is being stepped up across the board within government, and they're giving Super Bowl level security to this memorial service coming up in Arizona, and it's only a prudent measure. They're going to really marshal all of the resources, local police, FBI, Homeland Security, Secret Service, and they'll be using all of the tools necessary, probably drones, other things like that, just to make sure that there are no incidents. They're very good at security, obviously, although the last time they tried to kill President Trump, there were questions about Secret Service security. I think they've really picked up their game since that. They've come under intense scrutiny for that.
Well, we know President Trump today also had a big development as he spoke to President Xi Jinping today, and he's talking about TikTok, posting on True Social that they've made a lot of progress, trade, fentanyl, the need to bring the war between Russia and Ukraine to an end, and the approval of a TikTok deal. They'll be meeting in South Korea at the APEC summit next month, Jarrett. TikTok's a place, too, where, the influence and what people are seeing. We talk about Discord after this FBI investigation. Kash Patel on the Hill this week saying we're looking at all these chat rooms. It'll be interesting to see the framework of this deal. But President Trump obviously unlike Joe Biden, really knows how to handle Xi Jinping, unlike allowing them just to have secret police stations here and fly spy balloons over our great nation. Your thoughts?
Yeah, and these are, of course, very tricky negotiations, but TikTok has been, unfortunately, a platform to sow discord in other countries. I think that's the great worry about it, that it's something that is connected directly to the CCP, as any, really, practically all Chinese companies are. But this one has a particular ability to influence and sow discord, as I think we've even seen in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I think that's what Americans want to stop. There's a reason why China doesn't allow the system in their own country, but we have a very good reason to fear it in ours. And having that algorithm being controlled by the CCP is something that a lot of Americans are very rightly worried about. I hope the administration is able to negotiate that out of this to create a better deal so this becomes an American company that doesn't have those threats.
We'll watch it. Security is an issue. We know not just for the memorial bill, just real quick, the House on Friday passed a short-term, spending bill. But a lot of this, Congress wants more security for things that they're doing. They've canceled some things as a result after this terrible assassination. 30 million congressional, 30 million executive, 28 million for judiciary. They don't feel safe either. What's the state of play right now with all of these leaders and how we move forward as well?
Well, I think the danger of political assassinations has increased. Particularly, we've seen more left-wing violence, radical left-wing violence, and I think it's only a prudent measure to add to the security needs of our top government leaders, Supreme Court, Congress, and the executive branch. They've also added a security detail to Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary. That's obviously based on some threats that they're getting for that. But it's really important, I think, to step up security. The radical left in America is expanding. It's becoming more aggressive in response to some really America First policies of the Trump administration. So it's definitely needed, in my view.
Antifa, terrorist organization. That's why, spewing hate or division, even if you're a comic, you don't know what crazy is out there listening. Bill Gertz, Tony Kinnett, Jared Stepman, thank you so much. Appreciate you both, gentlemen.